Dren does at this point have a blue shield. That makes them even there. But John Wick has engaged an enemy here. See if he's actually going to push.
Yeah, does look like he's going to push. He did get it down on the person that was in there, but he has not been able to finish off the kill. He does get one kill here, breaks armor, and now his Evo shield is at level 4, or I'm sorry, at level 3, and that is going to be an entire squad wipe. So the original down that he got was part of that squad. So now he is at 3 kills, and then we look over at Dren, and he is at 0. And there's just such an incredible difference in playstyle. John Wick doesn't necessarily always drop in the most contested places, but he always is the first to push into those contested places, whereas Dren is still just more than content to continue to loot up until he gets the loot he feels like he needs, whereas John Wick is just W keying the entire time. And it's just this passive against aggressive play. And if you play passively, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just when you get into these fights, you have to be able to hit your shots because you're very likely already going to be down in damage and in kills against an aggressive player. And R99 shots come out and they don't really find their mark. They do find their mark there, and that is going to be a down. And we can see if we can get another down. There's a nice armor break, and he does push in. John Wick, I'm pretty sure, just took one of the kills. And that you can do that. There is nothing against it. He is able to do it. And instead of it being 2-3, it is now 1-4.
Yeah, you can see both players staring at each other in a moment of what just happened here, and it's legal. So a bit unfortunate there for John Wick, but he does actually manage to get the level 4 shield from it. You're gonna have to make sure that, you know, losing out on that kill doesn't tilt him too hard, because keep in mind, he doesn't have any more games to give. He's gonna have to win 2 in a row in order to win the tournament. So he has no time for mistakes, and it's going to be difficult because he's down 1-4 at this point, because John Wick had that incredible push into the building and to take down all 3 of those players. And now is at a massive advantage. It would be really shocking at this point to see Dren win the tournament, which isn't what I expected, because, you know, as I feel like a broken record, but, you know, he was going into this undefeated. He hadn't lost a single game and had a winner's bracket advantage on his side. And we saw John Wick look a little bit shaky in his aim, but, you know, he's kind of his aim hasn't really been improved, I don't think, as much as I was hoping, but it doesn't really matter, because at these longer ranges, his opponents aren't hitting as many shots as he is, so it's kind of balancing out. And in these closer ranges, he's been hitting his shots more consistently, I think, so it's been working out well for him. Both players now at purple armor, 4 enemy squads remaining, all of them having 3 players apart from 1, it seems. And there we go, we lose another squad as I say that, but we're getting into the very late game, and that means that there are less squads to take down, and these squads that are still alive have a lot of really good loot. So I think the window of opportunity is closing very quickly on Dren Bolanos to take the tournament, or even just keep himself alive in the tournament, because he's going to need to win this game and get at least 3 kills, and then he'll have to tie or break that tie with more damage. So he's gonna have to take out an entire squad worth of players, which isn't at all likely this late in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to do that, and he is trying to separate himself from John Wick, but I'm not sure if that separation is because he's still trying to loot, or if he is actually just trying to stay away to where he can maybe get that squad wipe without John Wick interfering. Because he has interfered before, and that is the reason that he does not have 2 kills, but does have 4. I believe both of these players, if the map will work, there's still this weird spectator bug. We can't see the map right now, but I do believe both of them are in the safe zone. They are. John Wick's just dancing around the outside, the south end of the safe zone. This is going to be a very, very small zone. 4 squads left. We should be seeing some action relatively soon here, unless all of these teams are around on the outside and are just going to be pushed in by the next zone. Looking over at John Wick. He's just on this building, surveying everything, looking inside the zone, not necessarily looking outside to see if he can catch anybody rotating in. But I do believe that's a lifeline care package that dropped. So there is a team over there. John Wick, not quite sure he's going to push. Doesn't look like he is going to push. Just quite content with his lead and staying here on this building, looking around, seeing what he can do. And he does use that kick to animation cancel, get running just a little bit quicker. The zipline is going to be used maybe to try and get to this balloon, maybe get to a certain place and maybe survey everything just a little bit more. I think this is where the lifeline drop happened. I might be incorrect on that. All the terrain kind of, all the snow terrain kind of looks the same. And it doesn't look like it's around, at least from what I see from Dren's perspective. So there might not necessarily be a team around here, but Dren does need to pick up the pace just a bit. Even in terms of the Evo shield, we do have 622 to 592. So John Wick will likely get that fully evolved if they're able to survive this fight. And we do see a world drop here. John Wick got this last time as well. Level 3 shield battery, and I didn't see what the other thing was, but the level 3 shield is not going to be useful. Dren does have a sentinel, and he unfortunately did not see that there was a level 3 sniper stock in the last world drop that he came by. He was just running by it, and it was on the complete opposite side where he couldn't see it, so he left it there. Definitely would be helpful with this sentinel that he's picked up. And I'm not sure, speaking of the Sentinel, I'm a big sniper fan, but I'm not sure it's going to be as useful here. I think if you're wanting to use it as a replacement for the Scout, you know, with that kind of strategy, it might be okay. But I think even for that, the Scout is just going to be better, because even though it doesn't do as much damage, you get to shoot more, which means you have more of an opportunity to do damage.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the bullet spray from Dren Bolanos was there. Possibly a little bit of a misclick, or maybe he saw something in the distance that I didn't spot. But we are now in the final 3 squads, so it's kind of just a little bit of a game of finding them at this point. And you can see both of our competitors are actively looking for them. They are not holed up anywhere because they know that these final 2 squads can determine the game. John Wick trying to kind of just babysit a little bit. You know, you can tell he's not breaking too much different distance here from Dren, who is looking for these squads, because keep in mind, Dren is going to have to take down 3 players and then win in a tiebreaker of damage, or possibly take down another player after that. So it's going to be very difficult. There aren't a ton of players left. It's fully possible that there are only 2 enemy players left in the lobby, and it's unwinnable at this point. But we won't know yet until we get into these final fights. So it's very easily winnable for John Wick, as long as he's able to just babysit and make sure Dren doesn't get away from him and get the 3 kills that he needs. But it is just really a matter of finding them, and it's fully likely that we're going to see Dren find these enemies first. But actually, it's going to be John Wick who finds them first, and he's just taking a couple shots. Now going to take the balloon, and he might go for a push here, Saresu.
Yeah, it looks like he might be going for a push. Doesn't actually end up doing that, but I actually expect Dren to be a lot more aggressive, because I don't know if you've noticed what came out of that drop, but it was a fully decked out Peacekeeper. So if he wants to keep up with John Wick in terms of this damage, he has a very powerful shotgun that is going to be able to do that. And if he can get in here before John Wick can, taking advantage of the damage John Wick has already done with this Peacekeeper, we might see Dren be able to tie this up and get some more damage. But that sonar will reveal his position. The Bloodhound that is around knows where he's at. And we see Dren just kind of running away. And I understand being a little bit hesitant, but you really can't be running away at this point. You know John Wick is using the Scout to get these shots down. He hasn't killed anybody as of yet, but he's just racking up damage. And so even if you are able to tie and get this squad wipe, it doesn't necessarily matter because he's going to have an advantage on damage. But John Wick is going to have to back off now, taking a bit of damage from his left from what sounded like a triple take. And now John Wick is backing off a little bit, taking a couple more pot shots here and there. He's going to use that tactical ability once again just to continue to run away. There is a Phoenix kit in that drop behind him, so I expect him to pick that up. There's also a level 3 barrel stabilizer. Both of these players must have the best stabilizers that they can get to leave that there. John Wick still in this fight, still getting shots here and there with that scout. Actually does break armor, so that probably will mean he has time to armor up as well, since his opponent has to get that back. And we just see Dren playing scared, or not, maybe not as confident as he should be, but he does see see an entire squad using that zip line, and now he might see his chance if he can surprise them from behind, get that Peacekeeper out. So that Peacekeeper does quite a bit of damage. I don't know if it one-shots when they have purple Evo shields, but at 1 to 2 shots should be enough. But unfortunately, John Wick is here now, and even though he is running away, it just means you have one other person there to contest these kills. Dren, the window is closing, and the window is already 3/4 of the way closed, I feel. He really needs to take advantage of this if he can, and we see him grapple away instead of pushing forward.
Yeah, as you said, that Peacekeeper is gonna make or break this game for him if he'll let it, because he's still playing very passive, and the time for that is well past. John Wick actually losing his entire shield to just random shots at this point, but the time for him, the time for Dren to play passive, it's well past. I understand wanting to be careful because if he loses this fight, he's out of the tournament, but he needs these kills. He can't afford to get killed in a random fight. He's got to make sure that he gets at least 3 of the remaining kills and doesn't let John Wick get any of them, really. It's going to be very difficult, but he's got to do it at some point, and having that maxed out PK to do it with will really help. But he's got to get into this fight and close the distance quickly, because John Wick is getting quite a bit of damage, though he is very low HP. And we'll see. He's, again, just taking a couple of shots, not even hitting anything, I don't think, and just backing off. And I don't think this is the play. He needs to get more aggressive. He doesn't have a lot of time. John Wick is in here doing exactly what Dren should be doing. John Wick is the one that should be playing passive. It benefits him if these two squads fight each other, or even just take out his teammate. But he's just kind of sitting back in a safer area and taking a couple of shots, whereas Dren is going for some crazy long flank or something. I'm not quite sure exactly, but it doesn't seem to be working out. He seems to have been spotted, and the window, as you said, Saresu, is basically closed at this point. It's not looking good at all for him.
And he's going to try and take this opportunity to use the shield cells, get back up to full. And again, we just see this scout just pot shots still being shot out here and there, not really trying to kill anybody necessarily, but he is... Oh, you are brave using the Peacekeeper from that distance. I'm not sure you're going to hit anything from that distance with the Peacekeeper. And he's going to use this shield battery to get all the way up to full HP, or full shield HP. Now we see John Wick using that scout and now throwing thermite. Still taking a lot of shots, so it's been very, very fortunate for Dren that he has not, that John Wick has not gotten any more kills. He's just tacking on a lot of damage. 3 kills is quite a lot to get, and Dren really does need to get some nice shots coming out from the R99. Does get a shield break, and I do think he got a knock, and he is in a great position, again, doing very, very well with this R99. He should be able to get this knock with the Peacekeeper. The Spectator is bugging out, so I don't know his HP. He does have full HP, and is going to use the shield battery to get back up to full shield, but they might be getting a res at the same time, so he does need to be careful. Oh, there is a full res happening there. And again, this is exactly where he needs to be with this Peacekeeper. He does get the knock there. So that is 2 kills. We still see 4 on the side of John Wick. John Wick trying to come in, trying to steal a kill like he did last time. He has not been able to do it as of yet, but he just took another kill. So it is now 3-5. Dren just unfortunately taking just a little bit too long to pick that up, and now he has to get 3 kills to win on kills, because I'm not sure if even if he gets the 5 kills, he's going to win on damage.
Yeah, we've seen John Wick the entire game just farming damage from long range, but Dren now actually stuck in the environment, and he's gonna get completely destroyed for it. And that's basically the end of the tournament. I don't at all expect that we're gonna see a revive come off of that. And this should be the end of it, even if John Wick does go down here, he wins the game and subsequently the tournament. So unless we see him recover the banner and then respawn him, and then we see multiple kills come out from Dren, this is basically it. John Wick kind of making his final stand here, pinned between multiple opponents. He's going down, but it doesn't matter. He's gonna win the tournament.